Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So, not a terrible week. We had a little bit of news to discuss in terms of different in-stocks on different websites and everything, and some pretty interesting news in regards to A Squad Pink. So, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So first up this week, I'm going to talk about bill of lading information. So last week I had to discuss the fact that Wave 11 had finally popped up on a bill of lading, which if you don't know what that means, it basically means that they have been manufactured and they are on the boats arriving to the countries they are supposed to be. So that means we should hopefully, possibly see them in stores relatively soon. So Wave 11 popped up one last week, meaning it had arrived in US ports. And this week, more stuff showed up on there as well, including Deluxe Wave 1, which if you're not remembering what Deluxe Wave 1 is, it is the Piranha's Head figure and the In-Space Blue with the Galaxy Glider, so the two of them have appeared on the bill of lading, as well as the yet to be able to be orderable? A figure you can't order yet, the Ready Clip-Door figure. So this one has shown up on the bill of lading as well, which is pretty interesting since we can't order it yet, as I just mentioned. So what I'm thinking what's going to happen with this one is I think it's going to be very similar to the In-Space Andros figure from last year, where he never went up for a pre-order period. He was just announced months in advance, and then he just went up in stock on the Target website. Now, Ready Clip-Door is not a store exclusive, he is a fan channel exclusive, which means you will pretty much only be able to get him on fan channel retailers, like Big Bad Toy Store, GameStop, Hasbro Pulse, that kind of stuff, and you're not really going to find him in stores except for possibly at GameStops and things. So I don't think he's going to be a pre-order. I think you're just going to be able to order him whenever he does go up, which hopefully would be soon. He is definitely done and ready to go. And then really quick before we wrap up this story here's a 3D render of the sculpt for the Lightning Collection Clip-Door figure. So this was posted on the art portfolio of sculptor Sarah Lynn Reynolds, who has sculpted other things in the Lightning Collection before, although not as often as we've seen from some of the other sculptors that we've talked about here on the show. I do believe that Sarah was the one responsible for the Putty figure back in 2019. I do remember that one popping up on their portfolio page and everything. So this is cool. I'm assuming that this was the same sculpt. It has to be for both versions of Ecliptor. The one that we see here is, I think, more in relation to the 2-pack version than the Red Ecliptor version, because the sword is like that version. They also did say that they did not have any involvement with the Astronema figure from the 2-pack, so that makes sense because that's basically whoever did the sculpt for that one in the Versus packs is probably the one responsible for the one in the pack with Ecliptor. So for the most part, I'm sure this is the exact same sculpt used on both versions of Ecliptor. He just had a little bit of different pieces, but it's always cool to see this kind of non-produced, I mean they were produced, but not finished in the progress of being made figure sculpts. I really like when we get to see stuff like that, and it's cool that it was posted for Ecliptor while he was kind of relevant in the news this week. So next up we have some GameStop and Hasbro Pulse information from this past week in terms of shipping stuff out and having stuff in stock, which is rare to say these days, but it actually was happening pretty abundantly this past week. So Hasbro Pulse actually finally started to ship out the Cat 2-pack, which is pretty shocking. I never thought we'd ever see the day of that finally releasing in the United States. Still has not released from GameStop yet, but it has finally released from Hasbro Pulse, and it was in stock for a little bit of time, although it went pretty quickly. Once people found out that it was in stock, it did not last. So you cannot currently get that 2-pack on Hasbro Pulse, unfortunately, and GameStop has still not shipped it out yet. But if you were lucky, either your pre-order was fulfilled or you were able to get one when it was in stock, it was available for a brief amount of time. Now, speaking of kind of the reverse of that, something that was available, went down, and actually came back up, was the Leo and Donnie 2-pack. The first of the TMNT 2-packs actually went up in stock on Hasbro Pulse once again. It was up a week ago, but then it sold out, and now it's back up in stock currently right now. However, Hasbro Pulse has seemingly removed their $50 limit of free shipping, so you seemingly can only get free shipping on Hasbro Pulse these days if you are a premium member. So that seems to be gone from Hasbro Pulse. You can only get free shipping now if you're a premium member, which is ridiculous, but not the point of this story. You can get that pack on Hasbro Pulse. And speaking of the other TMNT stuff, you can now get the Mikey and April 2-pack. It's in stock on GameStop right now, along with Cel-Shaded Pink, which is very interesting. That one has finally released here in the United States. I'm not worried about that one going down anytime soon. Nobody really wants that figure. It's probably one of the least desired versions of or releases in the Lightning Collection. I have one on the way, so you know how that works. I buy everything Lightning Collection. So Cel-Shaded Pink is in stock along with the other TMNT 2-pack that I talked about. So those are slowly starting to become more available in the US, which is great. And hopefully you can get your hands on whatever you want from any of this stuff. And of course, links to all of it will be in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Alright, and then finally, and kind of the biggest story for this week for sure, is A Squad Pink. So A Squad Pink, of course, as you might know, has had a helmet problem. We talked about this back in like October when the figure first released in the UK and everything like that. It is not accurate to the version that we saw in all of the prototypes and of course the show as well. In very similar kind of way, the Dino Thunder White helmet problem was present here in terms of there being something wrong that was, manufactured. The figure ended up shipping with just a repainted version of A Squad Red's helmet and not the proper version where she would have the more curved side to the visor trim, which you can see on all the promo shots. You can see on the prototype held in John Warden's hands when they revealed it on the May 14th, I think it was, Fan First Friday last year. And it's just been kind of a mess. And it seemed like they were probably not going to be doing any replacements. People reached out and they kind of said no. But it seems like they are now possibly changing course on that. So earlier this week, a good friend of mine, Adam, on Twitter, reached out and said that they got a response from Hasbro Pulse claiming that they were going to have replacement helmets for this figure available, and then they would order one and send one your way. And I, of course, contacted Hasbro Pulse once again, and I got the same kind of response. So all they wanted was for you to write your kind of situation number or your complaint number on a piece of paper and take a photo of that next to the figure to prove that you own it, and then they would order a replacement helmet for you. So right now we are still waiting to see how this is going to pan out, but you can contact Hasbro's customer care service down in the description below. I will be including a link, of course, and it does look like we are finally going to get a replacement helmet for A Squad Pink, which is great. Something I never would have expected them to actually have done. I'm really happy that this seems to be the case, and the reason why I keep saying these seems and everything is because we have yet to see any pictures of this replacement helmet. I guess there's always the slight possibility that it will still be wrong. I just gotta play devil's advocate on that. Hopefully it'll be good, but they do say that they'll be shipping out at the end of February, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, we will start to see, something about that actually being corrected. But go ahead and contact them. I always thought it was a good idea to contact Hasbro to at least let them know about the problems of A Squad Pink, regardless if they were going to fix it or not. I kind of thought that ship had sailed, like I said. I really didn't think, because we had kind of seen indications that they just didn't even understand that there was anything wrong with it or didn't know that there was anything wrong with it. So I kind of figured that we had tried and we had failed, but it looks like maybe we had not. So be sure to contact them if you're from other countries and everything. I think probably if they honored the Dino Thunder White replacement helmet program in your country, they're probably going to do this one as well, especially if like Hasbro Pulse UK and everything like that. So I would say it's definitely worth a shot reaching out to them, regardless of where you got it from. Because for example, it hasn't actually released from Hasbro Pulse in the US yet. It's only released in GameStop in the US. I didn't even get mine from the US. I imported mine from Hasbro Pulse UK, and they're still honoring it here. They just want proof that you own the figure. I don't think they really care where you're getting it from, like they would for other problems or defects with figures. Sometimes you contact them and they want to know that kind of stuff. I don't think it matters. For this one, they just want the complaint number on a piece of paper next to the figure if you own it. And I don't think that when it does ship out from Hasbro Pulse in the US, I don't think that they will have corrected helmets already on them or anything like that, because of the fact that it's already released from GameStop and all of those are still wrong. I think it's just a very classic Dino Thunder White situation where all of them were manufactured wrong, and you're going to have to do this at any point in time that you pick up this figure. But they're still honoring Dino Thunder White replacement helmets to this day. I still get comments every once in a while where people are saying that they still get Dino Thunder White helmets and my video was helpful and everything, which is great. So be sure to check that out for Dino Thunder White. Very kind of similar situation for A Squad Pink. You can kind of follow the same kind of steps. But like I said, the link to contact Hasbro, the correct channel to contact them, you should send them an email on the customer care service. Their live chat has not been open for months, so you're going to have to send them an email. That's all I did, and that's all you're going to have to do if you own the figure. So good luck getting it, and we'll see what happens. I have one ordered. I have a replacement helmet on the way, seemingly so, and we'll just have to wait and see. Alright guys, and that is going to do it for this week's episode of Lightning Storm. It's been pretty nice to be able to end this week's episode without any kind of major controversy or complaining to have to do. I don't have to talk about the price increase this week or the ninja helmets or the heads or anything like that. It's actually good news. The fact that we actually might be getting a corrected A Squad Pink. So I'm very, very happy about that. And of course, as always, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below about anything I talked about here today. And of course, be sure to follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or at LightningDefigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice.